What is up, you guys? Max back here with another video. In this video, I'm going to be talking about, is Camaro visibility that bad? Now, that gets talked about a lot. I've been driving this car for over a year now, so I think I have a good idea as to if the visibility is pretty good or not. I think the best way to do this is to just slap on my GoPro like I have here, give a little POV video, and then I'm going to be telling you guys my experience. So let's get right into it, guys. So guys, when it comes to Camaro visibility, I know Camaros get, or at least they have, a terrible reputation. Some people even go as far as saying it's impossible to see out of, all of that. Now, I'm going to just start off the bat by saying that's definitely an overstatement. The car, the visibility, it's not great. I'm not going to lie. But at the same time, I feel like it's one of those things that if you get used to, like I have, it's not that bad. But yes, this front windshield, it's narrow, it's not that big. The windows, they're small. I mean, it's not great. Obviously, literally every part of the visibility is gonna be below average. So the windshield is obviously small. We can see the windows, they're small. The rear visibility is not that great. The mirrors themselves are pretty small. So it's not like it's good, and I'm not gonna say it's good, but at the same time, you can totally see out of it. I'm comfortable with it. I have never once got beeped at or whatever for trying to change lanes and I missed someone out of my blind spot. The quarter windows, they're small, but I don't really find myself looking out of those too often. Usually I'm just, just watching the road, watching what's behind me with the, the mirror that's in the middle here, and then the side mirrors, usually that's pretty good. I've never had a problem with it. It definitely does take some getting used to, for sure. The main thing I want to just say in this video is just the visibility is not as bad as what people say. I've watched reviews of this car, especially before I got it, and they'll say like it's horrendous, it's a reason not to buy the car. If that's one of the reasons you're not going to buy this car, I would obviously say go test drive one and just make sure. But it's not something that I ever regretted. I mean, like there's a lot of regrets I have. In general, I don't regret buying the car, but there's a lot of things I regret, as far as maybe I wanted leather seats or something like that. But I don't look back and say, oh, I wish I didn't buy a Camaro because I can't see out of it. In fact, when I bought this car, I had 5% tint on it. I pretty much immediately added louvers in the back. I still have those right now, but it's not like, I mean, if the visibility was that bad, I don't think I would have added the louvers to the car, because that definitely does not help. But it's fine. You can get away with it for sure. And it's not something to be super concerned about if you're considering not buying the car because of that reason. But I will say the biggest thing that I noticed, as far as visibility goes, it's going to be the small, like, front windshield. Like my first car I ever drove, not ever drove, but the first car I had was a Ford Mustang, a 2007, and even the windshield on that, the front windshield, was a lot bigger. And I will say that this is definitely, it's like narrow, it's pretty small. That's the one thing you really have to get used to. But as far as like blind spots and things like that, like, it's really not that big of a deal. And I say that, obviously you got to be careful, but like, I don't really, like, I've never had a problem of changing lanes and not seeing what's behind me. I'm pretty aware of the road, and so I just like to point that out. But the front windshield is going to be the biggest thing you got to get used to. It's pretty small, and that can get annoying. And the other thing I will say is this thing right here. I don't know if you could see. Thing I'm touching right now, this little like pillar. I'm not exactly sure what this is technically called. That's another thing you got to get used to. When you're taking, like, a lot of times when I'm taking a left, it does block visibility more than most cars. Obviously, there's always going to be something here for cars, but I have taken a left on a road, or like there's like a winding road where I'm taking a left on and turning, and there's like a car parked on the side of the road, and for like a half second I can't see it until maybe I get around it, or I can see out of my actual window. So I did notice that. It's something you got to get used to. I'm not trying to hide anything in this video. I mean, I'm not going to go out and say the visibility is great, but it's something you can get used to, and it's just not as bad as what I've seen people making it out to be. So I just want to sort of clear that up. And I know it's a question a lot of people have, and that's probably why they go with other cars. But muscle cars in general, they don't have great visibility, I will say that. And for cars in general, obviously this is not great, but it's nothing. Like, I drive this car every single day, and it's not a problem for me, and I wouldn't consider myself like an expert driver or whatever, extremely cautious on the road. I'm just a normal driver, and it's been fine. Just the two things I mentioned, this front windshield and also these like little side pillars you got to get used to. As far as anything else, I think you should be fine. It's not really a huge huge deal. Even the rear visibility, it's not great, but it's fine. Like I've had no problem with it. It's a little slanting, it slants down the rear windshield, but other than that, it's not that bad. I know I probably sound repetitive in this video, but there's really not much to say about the actual visibility itself. If you guys have any questions, please leave them down below. I would like to hear what you guys think, or if you have a Camaro, how has your experience been with visibility? Do you think it's overrated, how terrible the visibility is? Or do you think those are justified claims saying how bad the visibility is? Or do you agree with me? Let me know in the comments below. And like I said, if you have any questions, leave them below. I know, like I said, like, I don't know if this video was the best at explaining, you know, what the visibility is like in a Camaro, but I thought the best thing to do is just to put you in my perspective and just answer some questions about my experience. So with that being said, I'm out. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Peace.